That's it. Feel the burn. Now that was a great workout.
Hello and welcome to the Just Another Castle podcast. I'm your host Matt, and with me this week is our pro gamer Mike.
Video game quote, laughing, and then a little bit of rage.
It's definitely Mike, and our retro aficionado Unoclay.
Ready to spank. The future is now, old man. little Malcolm in the Middle case for you. I was thinking about that earlier. The future is now, because Nintendo is adding a way to talk to your friends in their own network. So there's your reference for this week. The future is now, old man. How you guys doing?
Good.
Existing.
Terrible.
That should be my new go-to phrase.
Yeah, I'm a human being. I'm around them.
Oh my
Usually
god.
just say it's going, and then
You guys are
the person has to
depressing me.
assume what that means, and it's like, well, it's going, and that means doesn't mean it's going anywhere.
Yeah. I'm killing it down here. You guys are just existing. I feel bad. I should share a little bit of the killing it with you, and I'll just be like
come
just
on.
above board.
Company on misery.
It's not fair. Clay is killing it.
Killing it, bro. He's killing it. Left and right. Killing it. I mean, you don't even know. Killing it.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm doing the good life because I got Link's Awakening. Right?
Oh, pop. I don't have that.
Yeah,
All
Mr.
right. I mean, this
Steal it.
podcast comes out in the day, and embargo's still up. So don't.
Where did
don't ask how I
you
got
get it from?
Yeah.
Around.
So,
Around.
but is it like a big box store or like some mom and pop shop that doesn't really
Oh
care?
no. On this particular occasion, it is usually it is a mom and pop. Usually
Okay.
it's my go-to place. Should I call him? Should I shout him out right now?
No.
Nah,
But-
you shouldn't spell it.
Shout him out, like, go over there.
No matter how many 30 or 40 or 70 viewers we have, like, you should not spill it. You should keep it tight.
Yeah. No. I was just say, I go back over there. Nintendo cease and desist. And I'm like, damn it, Nintendo got the.
You never know. You never know. Big Brother is watching, indeed. Like, you never know. Gotta watch out. So you have it. We're gonna hear more about that in the show later. So you're killing it. You're killing.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played it yet though.
Oh.
Or have you?
Very
Because it's a
disappointing.
remake, so
Ah.
haven't you indeed.
uh,
Well, I mean,
But-
yeah, it's not new. It is a remake, so
Mhm.
I'm just gonna play it and be like, "Ooh, guys, did you know if you watch this in Game Boy Color, it would be the exact same game?" And they'd be like, "What the hell?"
You know what would be
People
cool that I
shocked.
don't think they have for that? A Game Boy Color filter.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I
Just
think they got rid of,
like a green and yellow and like a pixelated look would just be
Oh,
cool.
I get what you're saying. That would be kind of cool, like a retro kind of look at it, you know.
Yeah,
But
might
I
look a
don't
little
know.
wonky, but
I mean, I
That'd be
don't
cool
think
thing.
I'm
Well,
gonna be
so-
watching the dungeon thing. If I'm gonna be honest, like I was thinking about it, I'm like, I think I'm just gonna play through it. Like, I don't want anyone to play my dungeon because it's just segments of dungeons that you take a part of,
Mhm.
and yeah, I not that interested in it. The more I thought about it.
Well, I'm excited to hear your review of it because, like, next week, listeners, so you have a reason to tune back in next week because Mike's gonna have like a hot take early on the Link's Awakening remake. But like, I'm excited to hear about it because you guys brought something up that I hadn't thought of, which was like, oh, it might be really short. I mean, I know that sounds so ignorant to not have thought of that, but like, I hadn't because I'm thinking remake, so I'm thinking like
Yeah,
I
No,
was
you're right.
worried
I mean, the game's
in our
about what?
private.
I was gonna say the game's about what?
Yeah.
10 hours, possibly. Also, you guys can hear me, right? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was like, I mean, even if you add everything, right? Let's just say you do everything, like you're gonna hit 10 hours, and then some people it's their first time. I was telling Matt earlier in our little chat that what made Link's Awakening like take forever when I first played it was I always forgot where to go because it wasn't like. Okay, it wasn't that the game was difficult. It was like I turned off the game and then I have no idea where I am or who I am. You know what I mean? I'm like, where am I? What should I do? Because there was not like, oh, let me talk to this guy. Like, so like the owl, Kapora Gabora or whatever, however you say the name correctly, he would always come through and he's like, yo, nice job. You you know what you should do? He's like, you should go to this area. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll definitely go to that area. Then I turn off the game after I save it, and then I'm like, come back 2 days later, and be like, where am I supposed to go? And like, I can never remember what he said. And then I learned later on, when you played in the Game Boy, you're supposed to go to your map selection, but I think select, find the exact square where you found him, and then they would replay the text. You know what I mean? Like, how am I supposed to know that back then? Like,
especially
Old
for
games.
like Game
You
Boy
got old
games
games.
where you like pick it up for like a trip or something and then drop it for like a week or whatever. You're like, oh yeah, I have no chance of finding this out.
Yeah, like no, it's exactly that. I mean, the game does have I mean, I did play it a few months ago, and it does have kind of a lot of like extra things to do, which is nice. But the cool thing about this game is that it has that it's got the Mario stuff. Like, this is the first Zelda game with that like kind of ties Mario and Zelda together. It's got a Kirby enemy, so it's got a lot of Nintendo love in the game, which is pretty cool. But other than that, I mean, you know, it is just a regular Game Boy Zelda game. So we shouldn't expect much. Remember, this game was made in '94. You know what I mean? Like, Link to the Past is the big game back then. I mean, Link to the Past has a few hours, but you know, the Game Boy Color trilogy, if you ever look at it, I'd say most games are, you know, all three together are 20 to 30 hours, which kind of sucks that they didn't pack it all together at once. But maybe this is like a test or something else other than that. Like, we'll find out.
Well, we will find out, but we're especially excited for like your review of the experience, since you are a huge fan. For listeners who haven't been listening a long time, you're a huge fan of the OG game, like the biggest. You said it's one of your top games ever.
This is my first Zelda game ever, technically, because I own this. This is the first one I ever played, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I'm excited to retouch it. I mean, I played two versions of it. Well, I played a colored version and a green and yellow version of it, but like, I don't know, dude. Like, I'm excited, but at the same time, like, you know, I guess I'm quelled. Like, I'm not like, oh man, they're gonna do this. Like, they only announced that they added one thing, which they just got rid of the picture mode from the Game Boy Color version, because the Game Boy Color version came out when the Game Boy Camera came out, and that was like the big thing. So that was like the tie together. Now it's just like, all right, everything's HD. We have a new style, and we have that anime opening, which is cool. So.
Yeah, I can't. I've said this before this show. We're kind of jumping ahead of all the stuff we're doing, Matt. You know, obviously, you rein us in. It's like, I mean, I can't remember if I played it, because Game Boy, I was a little kid. And I played a bunch of games on it. I feel like I must have, but it's weird because I can't remember it at all. It's like so long. I mean, we're talking 30 years ago, you know? So it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I played this one, and it's like, I look forward to getting it sometime, but I'm probably not going to get it right away. I think I'll save it a little while. And I really want to hear what the reviews are, and especially for the length, because like, what is it, 40 new? And if it's only a 10-hour game, it's a little high, even though it is Zelda. You know, it's like one of those things.
They're charging
like,
full price, right? Full retail.
Yeah, let me look it up. I'm pretty sure they are, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Clay, that's a good idea too. I mean, there's a lot more stuff
price
that you want to play and or catch up on. You know, like,
yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, it's like been at the top of my list to play for a long time, because I want to get a Game Boy player, a Super Game Boy player for my Super Nintendo.
You don't have one, man? Come on.
No, I swear. Every single convention or every single store I've been at in the last year, roughly, I tend to ask for it, because I ask for things that are harder to ship and more expensive because they're a little bigger. So I tend to look for things like that. Like, I'm looking for hardware, or like things that are just like awkward sizes. Like, I bought a power pad for my NES at the last con I went to for like $10, because it would probably cost me more to get it shipped to me than it is to buy the original like run on the pad, like, you know, Dance Dance Revolution pad for the original NES, you know. So that kind of thing. Everywhere I go, no one has one. It's always weird. It's really strange. And I wonder if there's like some kind of market run on it, like on a little scale, because like every time I ask, they say the same thing. Like, I swear I had one earlier. Someone just bought it. And it's always like that.
I don't know. I wouldn't believe. Like, I know. Like, the Super Game Boy. Like, I'm like, I've always had it. Never really thought about it as something. No,
never had it, and I've meant to get it. And Link's Awakening is famously like one of the best Game Boy games, like period. You know, so it's just like, it's always at the top of the list of the game I'm going to buy with it. And it's like, oh, I can't remember if I played that one, but I should own it, so I should get it. And so it's kind of funny. Like, I could go either way. Like playing the original one.
You could get a GameStop one now. They sell it, dude.
Oh, goody. Support him. All right, Matt. Crack the whip. Bring us in, Matt. We're going to go on and on about this.
Wait. Before we end it, though, I mean, the other thing I was gonna say, just to make you not feel as bad. That's me trying to get a multi-tap for the Super Nintendo. All right, every time I go, they're like, "Just go to my store, man. I swear I had it." I'm like, "I'm not going to your store."
I'm looking at one like 3 feet away that I just bought recently. The exact same thing we were just talking about. I just bought one that was like the one with the B on it, the Hudson B. That's
the one I wanted because it was for Super Bomberman, and I've always wanted to play that 4-player.
Yep. I picked that one up because there's like a handful of like those 4-player Super NES games that like I want to get into with a few friends, like because there are good games for it. Like you can play NBA Jam like legit on it and stuff like that. So it
just makes me upset you can't play Turtles in Time 4-player with.
I know.
That broke my heart because I always thought if I got a multi-tap I could, but all right, man, you can take it away. We're gonna go on forever.
Kick our asses. Put us in the box.
Going in the penalty box. 3 minutes. Hang on, listen to me.
All right, I'm muting myself for 3 minutes. This is a dead air.
Let's gotta bring hockey in. This ain't Canadian.
I'm running the podcast. I call the shots here. Anyway, yeah. So let's get what we've been playing, not what we think we've been playing or whatever. I don't know what's going on over here.
What we plan to be playing.
Yeah, really. We plan on playing. But yeah, I've been playing a game this week. It's called Astral Chain. It's the next Platinum game that really was like announced out of nowhere and was kind of funny because they announced Platinum Chain now I'm mixing things up. They announced Astral Chain, I think at like E3 this year for a release in August, and we still haven't seen like an actual Bayonetta 3 trailer, so it's like you made a whole other game in this whole time and we still haven't even seen a trailer. That's kind of crazy. Maybe they started this one earlier, who knows. I thought that was funny. But anyway, it released this week and I've been playing it. I actually just beat it last night. There's like an epilogue chapter or post-game content. I'm not sure. The game's chapters are listed as files and this is like another file. So I don't know if there's any cutscenes, but regardless, I beat the main campaign.
The epilogue or New Game Plus?
Well, it's not a New Game Plus. It's just like, oh, you beat, I don't want to say how many chapters there are, but this versions of the game's chapters are called files, and it's like, oh, here's this number file, and I clearly beat the end based on how the story was.
Okay. So
and then they open something up after as an excuse to be why you're still at the same hub. So it's and then here's some more mini missions to do that aren't the same as the other ones. So
I just picked up Astral Chain myself. So
wow, I'm surprised.
I'm a little surprised. It looked cool, I mean, if it's no good, I'll return it in 2 days. So yeah, that's my main goal.
Let's get into it. So what it is you are well, it's not a space cop, but whatever. You're a cop from the future where basically the whole world is doomed and the rest of humanity decided to make this man-made area called the Ark. There's a couple of biblical references later. It's just ham-fisted, but it's funny. Anyway, so all of humanity is on here. When this meteor crashed, it opened a bunch of dimensional rifts and these invisible enemies called Chimera came through. And eventually, the police start controlling some of them, and they're called legions, and that's what you control. And later on, you find out, basically, you're the only one who can control them and basically save the Earth and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And eventually, you unlock more of these legions over time, so you can see them all on the website or whatever. It doesn't really spoil much, but you have one that's a sword legion and one that does arrows, and one is a dog, or they just call it a beast. And I'm all over the place. So you choose. It's weird because the beginning you choose one of two twins, and the one you don't choose is also part of the cutscenes. And everyone is voiced except you, but it's weird because if you chose the other character, then the other character is voiced, so both the male and female characters are voiced. but whatever one you choose isn't. And it feels weird in some parts because, like at one point, my main character said like signals someone to run off, and he doesn't say anything. He just goes like, "Ugh," and then like nods in a direction. I'm like, really? You couldn't have just said go over there? Like, it's fine. You can add a couple of lines. You've already done all the work. So I thought that was weird. But the voice acting is actually pretty good. But anyway, as far as the combat goes, so at the first couple of chapters are kind of like meh, because it's just you with like a baton and it's kind of weak. And then you get a legion and they don't really feel like they do anything. And it's not until after like the third chapter or at the end of the third chapter is when you actually start like connecting and making combos with your legions, because otherwise it was just like it goes over there and does its thing and then you do your thing and there's no real connection. But so I don't know, I really like the game. Yes, please ask a question, because
I was in the penalty box, so I just came out of it. I was just skating back on the ice and you're ready to wreck some mows. Like, but no, like so you've played Bayonetta. Mike's not been a fan historically of Platinum games, but I'm excited to hear his opinion once he gets to it. I mean, I love Bayonetta 1 and 2 for their flaws. We talked in a former episode, I thought Bayonetta 2 was significantly easier. Like, they toned down the difficulty on getting platinums and stuff. Like, the pun is intended.
yeah.
Like on later on the second episode, but I still liked it. I thought Bayonetta 1 was slightly stronger, but how would you compare it to the Bayonetta games? Like, if you're a fan of Bayonetta, it's a must play. Is it different? Is it kind of more of the same? Like, what do you think?
It's not more the same. It's technically easier because they're a lot more forgiving with grades in this game, just because you're controlling two different characters. It would be I could see why they like toned that down, because like, hey, this is a bit much to juggle and try to be like as crazy as the Bayonetta games, and the combos aren't like anywhere as deep as Bayonetta, so it wouldn't really make much sense anyway.
So it's easier or it's different? It's like it's different from Bayonetta.
Yeah, because it's both. So how it works is you control your one character, your space cop, and you actually only have one attack button. You can switch between a gun, a baton, and like a heavy sword sort of thing.
Okay.
And then your legion, which you can call, you can send them over to enemies and they'll do their attacking on their own. But what you can also do is you have this thing called the Astral Chain, where you wrap... Shoot, I hate this. I'm trying to do both at once, just to familiarize myself. Yeah, so you can always take control of the other character and move it any way you want. And if you wrap your chain around an enemy, that'll like lock them into place for a couple of seconds. And there's a lot of opportunities where if you do a certain move, you can press like the Legion's button, and that'll trigger like the next part of a combo and go into that, because you can't really do combos with like one button really. So it's more like I can chain a guy and then a flash will appear and I can press a button to do an attack, and then if I press it at the next one, it'll start like a combo and like mash the guy. And a lot of time button presses is really how you combo characters and whatnot. But the other thing with the legions is they all have their own inherent abilities in combat and outside. So example for the sword one, I'll spoil a little bit. It's within the first couple of chapters anyway. But with the sword legion, there's enemies where there will be one enemy and like a smaller enemy floating around somewhere, and you can't actually hurt the big enemy. You have to sever the chain between them with like the sword legion's ability. So that's kind of what changes it up. And then like outside of battle, there will be gates where you have to slice certain wires or whatever to pass a door with the sword legion, things like that. And then there's also like a skill tree. So another one of the Sword Legion's special abilities you can unlock is he can have swords appear around him. So, like, without even attacking, the swords like spin around him and attack enemies like within his space, and things like that. They all have their own unique attacks, which I like, and both inside and outside battle, which makes it interesting.
All right.
Cool.
I mean,
But-
like I said, I'm not a big Platinum fan, like games guy, but I don't know. This game kind of looked interesting. It looked a bit different from the usual Platinum Games thing. So to hear you say it's kind of different from Bayonetta, it kind of gives me hope, you know?
Yeah, because Bayonetta is all about. Wow, I really can't concentrate on both. I'm trying to like play a bit just to familiarize myself. Yeah, because Bayonetta is all about just you and the combos, and like that's its own type of game. But this you have to manage both your character and your Legion. Also because your Legion has like a certain amount of energy, so if it gets attacked too much, and just over time it'll deplete, then you won't be able to use it for a bit. And then anytime you can like call it back, and your bar will fill up a lot quicker. So you won't always be able to have it out. You have to manage that. It also gets easier because you'll have like bigger energy meters, and if you do certain combos and whatnot, it'll like refill it. So you won't have to worry about that so much after. But I don't think that really takes away from the game. It's more fun when you're using both the characters at a time anyway. But yeah, I really like it. I think it stands out from like some Platinum's other games and just on its own itself. I think it's a great Switch exclusive that people should own. And I thought for some reason, I thought it was only going to be like 20 hours or something. Like, not that 20 hours is plenty fine, but I'm actually almost at 40. So it's a lot longer than you think.
Wow.
What about, does this game make you want to get Damon X Machina?
Huh.
They're not really related.
Yeah,
'cause
they're
it's
not.
like an
Just
action
because they
game
came at
and
the same
that's
time.
a mech
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, no, I was
played
just
the-
wondering that. Cause,
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I
Yeah.
played the demo from a little while, or the beta a little while ago. The first beta they made, and I wasn't really a fan of it. So
Yeah, me
Not
neither
really
when I played the
interested.
first demo. I really like the graphics of Astral Chain though. Like,
Mhm.
did you feel like they held up? Because like the visuals looked awesome. Like, frankly, I mean, they always do a good job. Platinum Bayonetta looks awesome too, even on Wii U, which is where I played it. It looked great. So like, Astral Chain looked like arguably better from the little bit I saw of it. Is that your reaction?
yeah, I think it has a cool art style. This like futuristic, I don't know, science fiction world. It's also like still flashy like other Platinum games. So at one point, if you get an enemy down to a certain amount of health, you can press a button to like it says finish them, and then your character will like throw whatever legion you have pulled out at the enemy, and they'll go and like grab onto that enemy's core, and then like at a certain time there will be a button prompt like with just a light flash where you push it, and if you push it at the wrong time, it'll just do it in whatever. But if you push it at the right time, like you'll hear the sound effect that like you did it right, and it looks so cool because you're just like ripping the heart out of this this creature.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah.
That's like what
it's
makes
really
like
cool.
like Platinum games stand out so much. It's just like the insanity and the intensity of the graphics,
Mhm.
and you're just like invited to like just enjoy it that way. Like, and plus the gameplay is like really intense. You said it's a little easier. I am not shocked that they are moving more in that direction. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I mean, gosh, like Bayonetta 1 is really tough to like score high on, you know, and it's like, it's not necessarily in vogue these days. It depends on who you ask, you know, but if they want to reach a bigger audience, I'm not shocked at all. It's just like, yeah,
Well, it's
they're
also
gonna
because
be-
like what they're trying to get you to do, right? Like managing two like I don't think it's that hard once you get used to it, but it's still,
Yeah.
I'd say more than what a person would normally expect. And even near the end, I would still when you get in the heat of battle, sometimes I'd like accidentally call my legion instead of like jump to it. Oh yeah, that's another thing. So you can like send out your legion and actually jump to it, and if there's an enemy in between, you'll kick them along the way. Yeah, there's a lot of things I'm forgetting about this because I'm terrible and wasn't able to write notes beforehand. But it's definitely great. I'd say worth checking out. In some of the reviews, I don't know why, some people complain about the side missions being like, oh, they're really just fetch quests, or like they don't really add a lot. But they're so like short, it doesn't matter. Like in action games, you need something to break up the pace, or else you're just gonna get like tired of it. Like even if it's good, it'll just be kind of exhausting. But like the side missions are generally short and fine. Like some of them will be like you go up to a person and you can just do whatever task it is for them, like within a small area. Like, okay, that's fine. And some are just like, go get this ice cream cone for a kid or something and try not to drop it. Just silly things like that. So it really doesn't like take away. It's just like, oh, I'll spend like 10 minutes doing a couple of these things.
Yeah.
Back into the action.
Gotcha. Well, I plan on playing it someday. I put it in my wish list. It's one of those bigger games, save it for a time when I want it. And I just recently relatively played through Bayonetta 2, so I feel like my platinum itch has been scratched for a little while. It's like that I know what to expect from them now on a little bit of a level. So it's like save that for a little bit, because I know what I'm getting into, and I think I'll appreciate it more the same way I put a gap between Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2. I was like, I liked it a lot better. Coming back to it was like a drink of, good water. When I came back to it, I was like, oh, this is awesome. I forgot how fun this is when you get into it. So, but I'm really glad they're stretching their wings onto a new thing. Like you said, like and it's cool. Mike's gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
Even if he tends to not this kind of game. Like, Mike is openly a little not into these.
I'm playing immediately. I'll be like, is this platinum games? And then I'm like, oh my god. Then I'm just gonna go return it. I'm like, why do I buy this?
You're funny. Well, we'll see.
It was basically I had the choice of getting Astral Chain or Daemon X Machina, and I was like, you know what? Let me just try.
I think you made the right choice.
Yeah.
I think you made the right choice, because like that demo. I hope one of us eventually plays Daemon X Machina so we can like talk intelligent about it, because I don't like pooping on a game when we haven't like played it. That's lame. But the demo was not good. It was boring.
I think
it was a bit boring.
I think I think it's just one of those game types where you have to like it. Like I don't really like.
But the thing is, I like that game type.
But...
I'm gonna be honest. I like it. I like that game type. Like I played. What's the game Kojima made? He made two of them.
Metal Gear Solid. Zone of the Enders.
And then they got an HD remake.
Zone of the Enders.
Yeah.
Look at Matt knowing his retro. That's not that retro, but look at Matt.
It's the only other game I could think of. So.
And Zone of the Enders is a great game. I actually like the first one more than the second one. And it's a mech game, and mech games are cool. Like they're theatrical. They look badass. That's the only reason why I wanted Xenoblade Chronicles X was to get into a mech, which they trick you because you can only get there in the end of the game.
Yeah.
But so I was kind of hoping Daemon X Machina would be a bit better. I don't know, maybe just the demo was like, here's an overload of text and all this other stuff. I mean, reviews came after it, said it was an all right game, and I'm hoping after I play some Zelda, like there's a gap between that and Luigi's Mansion, so I'm hoping if I could run through Astral Chain pretty quick, or if because I wanted to play the big Nintendo games, so I was like, oh, I'll try to squeeze in Fire Emblem, I'll try to do the two Astral Chain and Daemon, and I'll try to do Zelda before Luigi is coming out. But Matt's saying the game's longer than I thought it was, and in addition, Fire Emblem takes forever. So it's like, I don't know if that's ideal or possible, but I do want to give the game a shot because I like Zone of the Enders. But that demo,
I wonder if that game holds up, because I was reading a Konami like kind of retrospective the other day, and that game got mentioned, and I was thinking, they said it's pretty good. They said it's legitimate. It was like early PS2, right? Like early. And I'm curious about it. I wonder if it holds up. It's like one of those games.
They redid it. They remastered it. If you're interested, I think both.
For what system?
Might be the 4, or I played on the 3. I played it on PS3, so I don't know.
Now, Mike, I'm too retro for that.
Yeah. But that's the only way. Otherwise, you're gonna have to play the original. In my opinion, like the first game's only like 6 hours long. If I'm gonna be honest with you, 6 to 10 hours. It's like 5 missions, But and it was more of a tech demo the first game,
I'll look it up. They gave the kind of profile of Konami I was reading gave it good marks. They said it's a solid really cool outing that showed what the PS2 could do. And given that I'm a guy that like that's the last PlayStation I own, I'm still impressed by stuff on it. I'm like, oh, look at this PS2, pretty awesome.
if you want to just play the game and like, yeah, I played it, then just get the first one. Like I said, it's more of like just a giant glorified demo or a half a game. The second one's like a full game, but it just, I don't know, I didn't like the character and some of the stories. The first one was just like, oh shit, I'm flying around, I'm shooting everything, and I'm using a sword too. Like, this is so cool. Like, it was like, dude, I remember the impression I got of it because I don't even know why I got it. I was like, this looks really cool. I think I'm just gonna buy it, and I did, and it came with both. And I honestly, I was like, man, I want a third one. I mean, it's never gonna happen ever, but. So I was kind of hoping this Demon Ex Machina game would fill the gap because I like Gundam. Like, you know, it's always a series I've been interested in. I like mechs, but most of the mech games always come out of those Musu Warrior games, and I'm just like, I don't really want to play that. Or I have to import them on my Vita or something. So.
Gotcha. Well, Matt, that's cool. It's like you really pushed it to like get done with it for the podcast, and
yeah,
you sound
it was
like you
so
liked it.
Close. I'm like, I gotta finish this. It was on like the last. I think I had like
you're
2
giving it a
chapters at that
recommended.
point.
Like I mean,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
summaries, you're giving it a recommended. It was fun and it had enough content and it really went longer than you thought. And it's an exclusive. I mean, it's got everything going for it, right?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that's cool. I look forward to playing it sometime.
And the voice acting was actually pretty good. Surprising.
Hey, yeah, I can say that's a nice surprise.
Yeah.
I could go either way on that. I'm the kind of guy who like never like thinks about it. So if people care about it, that's good to hear. Because I'm always like, whatever. I'm so used to reading text in video games because I come from that era that it's like I barely notice it because so many games switch back and forth. Like some of the characters talk and some don't, and then I realize like I don't even notice it really. You know, I'm like. I mean,
I don't look at characters like the way some people do. I mean, Matt maybe has a better eye because he does animation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, oh, that looks terrible. But like, I'll be playing the Sonic game and I'll be like, I don't really care they're talking. Like, as long as they don't sound like my ears are gonna bleed, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Chili
I think
dog.
it's more noticeable with like humans, where it's like, okay, now you have to like emote a bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, the characters are kind of fun and they don't sound like generic. I mean, like the lines aren't like crazy or anything, but they have some personality and the lines aren't like dead. It's funny because there's vendors that you find out through the games to like buy some drinks and stat abilities. And last thing, and then like they all have different personalities and they're based off of like anime stereotypes. So one is like I forget the names of all of them, but one of them is like the one where it secretly hates you but like kind of likes you, and the other is like the shy girl, anime girl, who's like, "Oh, you're talking to me."
You mean Tsundere? You
yeah.
non-weeb.
Well, that's the one. I don't remember the other names, but like the like super shy girl.
Okay, well I know Kudere means no feelings. All right, well maybe I'll like it because it has all this anime in it. You know? I mean, there you go. So you guys
talk to the vending machines. But yeah,
nice.
Recommended. I think I talked long enough about that. So, Mike, have you been playing anything besides thinking of playing Link's Awakening?
Yeah, I've been thinking.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, I got cut off. I've been thinking about playing more games. You know, no. Honestly, this week I was kind of more making a list. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna play River City Girls and all that stuff. But I turned on Metroid Prime 2 for a little bit. And because I was bored at my friend's house, so it wasn't my profile. I was like, damn, this game is a good game. And it made me excited for 4. But then at the same time, then I remembered they made Metroid Prime 3. And then I blocked it out of my head. So I was like, all right, I don't think this counts. But I don't think I really played anything. I mean, I've been playing Mario Maker 2 almost every other day.
Yeah,
I love that game.
You're crazy for that.
Yeah, I do it. All I do is freaking Mario. All I do is make some Mario, man. Except I don't do any making. I just play. But I did that. I played some Kirby Dream Land 3, so I was testing out the SNES library on the Switch.
Nice.
Which I didn't realize. If you make an online party, that me and you could play together. Like you could be Gooey. You know what I mean? For freaking in Dreamland 3. Like we don't have you can play Super Nintendo games. Like we can play Mario Kart together, guys. You know that, right? Well, technically only one of us, but so I think that's really cool. I was kind of excited by that. But yeah, the Super Nintendo catalog is awesome. I gotta play them all. Dreamland 3 is kind of alright. I wasn't too impressed from it. I mean, I remember playing. I played Dreamland 1. I never played 3. I played Superstar, so it was like kind of going back, and I was like, oh, this game's kind of cool, but I wasn't too impressed. I think my younger brother said it best. Joey was like, he's like, yeah, Kirby games get better every time, and I'm like, that's actually true. Like, I don't think I've ever except for like Amazing Mirror, like I don't think I've ever gone back and like, yeah, I prefer this one. Like after Triple Deluxe, I played Planet Robobot, and I was like, oh, this game's way better than Triple Deluxe. You know, like it always happens like that. Which I guess that's a good sign. Let's see. Banjo came out. Obviously, we were fapping into that one already. Which Banjo's fun, man. He feels like an actual Smash character compared to most of the DLC. Like, I was thinking about it when I looked back at it, and he was just a Smash character in the game compared to like most of these new DLC characters are all feel kind of the same, I guess. No, I don't think I played anything else. Oh no, I rebeat Sonic Generations. That's what I did. Oh, and I rebeat Minish Cap this past week. Oh.
Man.
So bring up Sonic Generations because I think some people. Anyway, some people say. I'll just
What do
get
they
into
say,
it.
Matt?
I don't think the 2D sections are as great as people are saying they think it is. How do you feel now that you've revisited it?
Yeah, the 2D sections weren't that good. They really weren't. So when I replayed it, I had more fun. I had more fun playing the 3D levels. Even the classic versions of the classic levels, I rather play the 3D levels. Like, classic Sonic's cool and all that. I think he's more fun when you beat the game and he learns how to dash or drop dash. I don't think drop dash exists yet, but that's for Sonic Forces. But I don't know. For me, Sonic Generations is more about kind of going back at everything, playing them at new generation Sonic and all the remix songs. I mean, the game is very short if you don't want to get everything.
Yeah.
So, it's like 12 levels. And it's like, all right, yeah, cool. I do recommend everyone plays it. It was like $1 on Steam when I got it. So I was like, yeah. I was like, I should get this. So I bought that Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 for like a collective of like $4. And and I mean, I guess it's like the third copy I own of these games. Please sue me. But I'm a Sonic guy. Sega does with Nintendo. Sega Genesis Mini came out. It is a Nintendo podcast. But to be honest, guys, like I said, I'm gonna say it every week I'm on this podcast. Game of the Year is coming out in a month. And it's not Luigi's Mansion 3. Sonic and Mario. Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo Olympic Games. Game of the Year. All right, it's got a story mode in it.
It has
now.
a Mario Kart game in it.
Yeah, it's got a
The
hoverboard
snowboarding
section,
thing.
story mode section. It's got retro. You could play all the things in retro mode, so you can do the 100-meter dash as your retro icons right there.
Yeah, that's
okay.
cool.
So I'm just saying, guys, make sure you guys get the best game of the year. I'm holding on to my voucher still for Nintendo just to use it for that, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's a bold claim. Game Gotti of the year. Gotti of the year.
That
is,
young goatee.
Sonic.
All right.
I never played any of those games once. They always have this slight temptation to me, but I would have a hard time convincing my friends that this is what we're gonna do tonight. They'd be like,
dude,
really?
honestly, I think when I first played it, I played the 2006 one, the original one when it came out for the Wii. I was like, yo, this game is better than Mario Party. And then I never got it again. For the next 14 years, I never got it again. No, wait, 12 years because it's 2008 Olympics, right? Was Mario Sonic at the 2006 or 2008 Olympic Games? My senses are telling me it's 2006.
I think it's 2008. I don't remember.
And it probably is 2008. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it was 2008. But that game was amazing. All right. I love that game. That series is super low underrated. So
the music in that is actually like amazing. Like there's so many great remixes from it. I don't remember how or why I stumbled upon it. I think I was just looking for a remix of something, and like they have all these Mario songs like remixed in it, and they're actually great. There's like some ska remixes or like jazz, and all this other stuff. Just
nice. It's an arcade
like
game too. Like
2012.
The 2012 Olympic? No, the 2012 is regular and then I think 2014 or 18 is the Winter Olympics because 08, 12, 16, and this upcoming 20 are the regular Summer Olympic games. So, but the very first game I just checked it came out in 2007, so it's in between winter and summer.
Gotcha. It was the 2014 Olympics is where I heard some of the remixes. And I think it was the 2014 and 2016 ones, at least that I know of. I don't know about the other ones. Have like really great remixes.
People are saying they're going like very hard for this because Nintendo Land's coming out and the Olympics are at their home. So you know what I mean? Like to them, it's like
yeah, of course,
it means a little more to them.
It's huge. Yeah. No, that's a great point. That's inestimably huge for them because it's like you go to Japan, there's Mario in the airport and stuff, like it is a feature of their country. They don't lean into it as hard as you'd expect, but I mean it's a feature, and then to have something like that to market, to sell even at the venue, like that's huge. Just gotta
that's why I'm getting that vibe from like this is one they're going hard and it's not a bad game, and unfortunately, Super Mario Party wasn't as good. I haven't revisited it in a year, and I wasn't really home to revisit it. But every time I do bring it up, most people rather play Jackbox or something else.
Yeah, easy call. It is. That's interesting. We will see how it turns out. I'm looking forward to your review of that too. I mean, it's not a game I'm likely to ever buy because my friends come over. We don't see each other enough. We're almost always going to play Smash, and then there's like whatever the new hot indie game is that's like one or two, 2 or 3 players is like the thing lately with my friends. So like a party game like that just isn't the vibe lately with my friends. So it's not the kind of game.
I get that. I totally get that. Like when I hang out with friends, it'll be Smash, a Mario Kart, and drink around and Jackbox.
Jackbox is always a winner. Anyone listening to this, I cannot believe how many that game must have sold jillions of copies on every platform there is. But I'm always running into people who've never heard it, and I'm like, this is the game. This game should be more famous than it is on some level because it's a game for people that don't play games, and it never fails to hit. It never fails to hit. Like it is the only video game I think my dad in his whole life has ever liked. It's like he asks for it by name. Well, he doesn't. He doesn't know the name. He goes,
good news, Clay. Number 6 is coming out, and it's got like all the best of the the first 5. Like the 2 of the games I saw was they have Murder Trivia Party 2 finally, the sequel to it.
That one's one of my favorite. I love Murder
that's
Trivia.
One of my faves too. And they have I don't want to say Quiplash 3 or 4, Quiplash XL, something like that. But they have another one coming out where it's like tell the lie or figure out which one's lying. And I don't know, it just looks great. It's coming out too. I just saw the announcement for 6. So they announced
it's funny because I run into the problem of like older people once they learn what they like. They don't want to change it, and they still just want to play the main 1 or 2 that you always like. You know what I mean? Yeah. They just want to play like I'm just forgetting. I always blank out. I just know which ones they are. It's like the main 2 games.
Or something. Yeah, I can never remember the name until you turn it on either. So.
Yeah, and it's like, but they want to play those 2, and I try like Murder Trivia Party, which I think is hilarious, and then my mom is like, "Ooh, this is disturbing." Like that kind of reaction.
But it's so good though. All the questions
but it's
like real
it just doesn't land the same way. It's like different signs of humor. But like did you like we're getting real off topic, but I mean it is video games. Like you guys have played the T-shirt making one. Have you played that one, Matt?
No.
I played the other dark one that you're bringing up. Where you can like die in.
Murder Trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
It's like a song.
I mean, all these games are on the Switch. So this is Nintendo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is Nintendo. No, like the T-shirt one has one of the most insidiously inventive ways to take your money of anything I've ever seen in any video game. It's in Jackbox 3 or 4. I don't remember which one. But like, so you make a T-shirt. You draw a T-shirt, you draw a graphic. It gives you some crazy prompt. It's like monkey banana, and it's like, okay, I draw a monkey banana. And then it's like crossed with marching band. And then you have to draw that, or whatever. And you get this hilarious T-shirt that's like ridiculous because nobody can draw on a freaking tablet, and it's hilarious, and it's like you do that. And then the T-shirts have to go head to head with each other with some T-shirt that your friend drew. And then you all vote, just like every Jackbox game, you all vote, and it's like, so then you have this like final showdown of the great T-shirts where they're all matching up against each other, and it's getting more ridiculous and more ridiculous. And you're making slogans just to rein it in. You're making slogans for part of the game, trying to describe what the T-shirt looks like, and then part of it is drawing the T-shirts, and it's like mashing up whichever wins are winning, like the funniest slogan with the funniest T-shirt. And so the final winner isn't really like one person winning. It's like the mashup of the funniest things you all made together. And then this is the killer app. This is the killer app moment. You can literally in game order the T-shirt to be made and sent to you
That's
in real
awesome.
life. And it's this shitty ass like MS Paint like level drawing that we did with this dumbass caption, and it works because we're sitting there, we're drinking beers, and every single time someone's like, "Dude, I want this shirt. It's so funny," and I'm like, "Stop and think about what you're doing. You're buying a crap T-shirt for like $20 plus shipping or whatever.
Yeah.
That we drew in the last like 2 minutes that we could make a million times better on a computer. Like, but I just think how much money they're making off that because I've seen it almost work.
Dude,
like,
it is pretty genius. It is genius.
It's so genius. It's like order in game, like order yourself a shirt. You
And
made
you
it,
know,
and you'll
and you know they either have a deal with the T-shirt company, or they just they do it themselves. Like it's got to be something between that.
I mean, these
they're
days, like
making
getting
money,
getting a blank T-shirt printed with like 4 colors and some crappy ass font on it. Nothing. You know what I mean? It's the cheapest thing ever. And then you're like ordering it because you made it in a video game when you're like wasted. You're like, dude, I want that shirt forever. And then you're like, oh my God, what did I do?
True. You're like, where did my $20 go to?
I am never wearing this. I will be hated by everyone that sees me because it's a giant cock going in the mouth of an eagle and it says like, keep me. And we all thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Going back to topic, other than that, I still haven't played Yoshi's Crafted World, but I did download River City Girls, so I was kind of interested in that because it reminded me of an arcade beat 'em up, and I wanted to record with somebody. So I have that. I'll let you guys know how that is. And Clay, if you didn't hear, there's Exit the Dungeon coming out, or Gungeon, or something like that, or a sequel to your Enter the Dungeon.
I haven't heard.
Now.
I'm going to hang up now, and I will catch you later.
Yeah, I saw it because when
Is
I
that
looked
the
up
Apple
when I
Arcade
got my River City
game?
Girls.
Well,
I
they're
know
making
they're
an
doing
arcade
something
game.
for that. Yeah.
It's supposed to be top downy, I guess, because you're escaping.
Oh my God, it is. Oh my God, you're hearing me react live, like hot take. So, are they they're saying 2025 though? Holy crap! Wait, no, this is old news. This is like from a year ago, so I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I recently saw it. It was probably because like I got River City Girls, so it just kind of popped up, and they're like, "Well, pixel art," you know what I mean? And I was like, "Yeah, same thing." But I'll let you guys know how most of these games are by next podcast.
I'll read this later and jizz all over my computer later. But like, they're calling it Toward the Sword Tryst 2025 is what the headline from a year ago says. But like, I hadn't heard that, and I wouldn't necessarily know if that's true or not. I know that the big news was that they are making a real physical light gun arcade game for pre-orders now.
Mhm.
Like that they announced at E3, which is awesome, and I wish my wife would buy me that. But it's I think a $10,000 buy-in.
Yeah.
Or no, it was like $5,000. Yeah, and I was like,
couple.
I really want it. but yeah, that's rad. I want to hear how you think of River City Girls because like I'm a big fan of original River City Ransom, and I've played some of the Kunio-kun games since then. Like there are some sequels that are in canon with the same characters. The problem is they've never landed quite as well because beat 'em ups are not like in vogue anymore, and they're not as fun as when we were young and it was like the most awesome thing ever to just like beat on stuff and press A and smash.
Yeah, but Scott Pilgrim was amazing, Like,
True. Both the movie and I heard the game was good, but like and the manga. My friend said he liked, but like
they drew a little manga for it. They went all in.
Did they?
That's the other thing.
I know there was
I
a
think
comic of it, but
I'm not sure. I think it was, or excuse me, it was just a regular comic. It wasn't a manga. Like I don't even know, but I thought that was first.
I wouldn't be
like,
surprised if
before
they
the
like
movies.
made it. Yeah, they made I think like 5 comics or whatever first, and that's what they adapted into the movie. I wouldn't be surprised if they made a manga, but
yeah,
didn't
I
start on
apologize.
comic.
I'm using the
No, that's
loosely.
fine.
Yeah, like I never read it, so I don't know. But like
Me neither.
yeah. I don't know. I'm curious to hear. I'm surprised to hear Mike is going for the gender swapped version of River City. That it's like so transparently like 2019. Like let's swap the heroes for the heroines. but like I'm interested, but I wasn't willing to pay full fare for that because the last one I bought for 3DS I liked, but I will admit I got about like 6 hours into it and got kind of bored of it. Just kind of like button mash, punch, 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 punch.
Well,
like
I
go.
don't think the game's too long, and like I said, I wanted to play with a friend or my brother, so it's like I'm never gonna touch it solo. So
Cool, good for you. That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, so Unoclay, what have you been playing?
Well, we've been going on a long time, and I've been contributing all this. I will say, what's the recommend for this week? It is not revisiting Castlevania. What is it called? Legacy of Darkness on N64. That game is garbage. It is famously Legacy of Darkness on N64 is garbage, horrible, terrible, not fun, like 3D. Like action, like 3D.
Dude,
space.
I played that game. I rented it from Blockbuster back in the day.
I played it all the way through when I was a kid, but boy, going back to it's tough. The controls are real crappy, but I'll be honest. I played it for 2 hours the other night, but it's not good. I was just like, I want to see how far I can get into this before I get bored of it. I'll admit I haven't hit that wall yet, but it's like almost a good 3D Castlevania game, but it's got a lot of problems. It's also it shows its age. The graphics aren't very good, like compared to a lot of N64 games. But the game, let's see, what have I been playing that's new that I could talk about? Have I talked about Baba Is You yet on the show? Yeah, I've been playing that. Indie game, Switch, affordable price. I don't recall what I paid for. Maybe $10, maybe 15.
Bottomless You.
Baba, BABA.
Oh, okay,
Baba
okay,
is You.
Like Baba Booey.
Sounds like a Wii U game.
Like Baba Booey, yeah.
Yeah,
Baba Booey. Like it is a hard ass game, and it is a really unique game. It's right up my alley for like what a strange concept it is. If I had to explain it to someone who can't see it, it is a game. Like think of a box pushing puzzle, like old school Japanese box pushing puzzle game where you push boxes around the screen and try to get out of a maze, but there's no maze. The hook of the game is that there are verbs and there are items on the screen, and you have to make sentences out of the boxes to make a winning escape. A good example would be you have to make the sentence on the screen say, "Flag is win," and then you have to touch the flag. Okay, no problem. But it gets insanely hard really fast that you only have a limited number of verbs and you have a limited number of items on the screen. And one of the strange and really hard to describe to people hook of it is something always has to be you. There always has to be a sentence on the screen that says something is you. It doesn't have to be Baba. He's a little like dog-like creature. You can make flag is you, and then you're the flag walking around. Or you are like key is you. And it is the most spinningly complicated game really quickly, even when the screen is like just a simple screen of like a couple verbs and a couple items, and you're pushing these boxes around and you're trying to solve the puzzle. It's a puzzle game at its core. I mean, it's a box pushing puzzle game with the hook that you're trying to make senses, and I really like it. It isn't for the faint of heart. It is not an easy game, and it doesn't have a hint system, so you'd end up Googling stuff if you're like impatient. A lot of times I literally am sitting there just staring at the screen trying to think of an answer. I mean, you're literally just you're not even doing anything. You're just staring at the screen trying to think of the answer because there's so few variables. You can't believe you can't solve it. You're like, what do I need to make the sentence say? I need to say key is me, then move the key, then open the door, then change me back to Baba, then move Baba through the door, then make the flag be the winning situation. And it's a little tough to describe. I'm really into like abstract puzzles like that, and it's very difficult. If it sounds good to you, you'll like it, but you have to come to it with patience or the willingness to accept that like you're just going to hit a wall. I mean, the good part is you don't have to go in linear order necessarily. You can kind of skip around from puzzle to puzzle, but it's even a little punishing like that you can only have maybe 3 rooms open at a time, and if you can't solve any of those 3, you are stuck. And that's kind of where I am. I got maybe 15 rooms into the game and I'm stuck. Like I'm just stuck as a duck. And that's a saying, right? That's a cool saying. That's what the kids say.
Yeah, you just reminded me that I was playing Professor Layton because puzzles. But yeah,
right.
stuck as a duck, right. Definitely not a saying. But
no,
we'll give you credit.
Well, stuck as a duck is something Professor Layton might say.
Yeah, you know what? That's why we got reminded of Professor Layton. I was like, stuck as a duck. Clearly, the professor would say that.
Don't be sad, little boy. You're just stuck as a.
He's like, Professor, are you stuck as a jock?
Did you say what I think you said, little boy? We should not say that word. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate how we all play Professor Layton.
I haven't played it.
It's good. It's a good game. I mean, but the good thing about Professor Layton is it gives you hints in game. Baba's used more of a pure, stripped down indie game, and it does not offer hints in the game. It is like, do or die. Figure this out, asshole, or use Google. It's like, but like, I mean, I enjoy it. I think I just have a predilection to like games that are like offbeat, like that are like, I like it the best because nobody else has did anything like this ever before. So it's like this really creative, simple game that's like, this is insanely weird. Like this is just out of this world strange in terms of games. It doesn't have a lot going for it. The music is pretty repetitive, like any puzzle game. It's got like a looping soundtrack each room. You're just like, you're going to be muting the sound after you're stuck in the same room for 15 minutes. I like it. I will say that. Like, if it sounds good to you, try it out. Watch a video, see if you get what the concept is, and if it appeals to you. I like having a bunch of puzzle games for like train rides and like shorter experiences on my Switch, and then when I'm home on the TV, I'm playing Smash or Dark Souls or something. It's not a TV game for me. It's more like I'm riding the train and thinking, and I want to just pop in a puzzle and think for a few minutes kind of game for me. So, yeah, Baba is you. It's weird. It's weird. It's a weird indie game, and the title screen boots up and says it won some awards and some indie awards or something like that. So I guess it's got some pedigree going for it. But check it out.
Cool.
I've been playing that.
That quickly reminded me, because I forget so many things. Astral Chain has like a really good soundtrack. Like, I don't know if I'd listen to it outside, but when you're in it, like, there's a lot of rock and metal music, like when you're in the battles and whatnot. So it feels awesome to kill things too. But anyway, let's get on to some news.
News.
Yeah, do I want to write that? No. So I guess I'll go over Overwatch details quickly. So I assumed a lot last time when we were talking about the physical release, because I was basing off, I don't even remember what I said last time, but I was just basing it off of what I assumed. So corrections, it does have a physical release, but there's no actual game card in it. It's just a download code, which is stupid. It's 12 gigabytes. So judge if you have enough room for that. It's $40, so it's not full price, and it comes with 3 months of online in it. So that's good, at least. It's 900p docked, 720p undocked, but it's only 30 frames per second, whereas everywhere else it runs at 60. So judge for that for yourself. If you want it. I mean, if you haven't played at this point, then you're probably going to be fine with it anyway. And the 3 months of online will stack onto whatever you have. I think it's different if you're on a family plan, but whatever. I guess deal with that as it is. If you're just paying as a single person, then it'll just stack onto whatever you currently have. And they're looking into cross-play, so playing on... Switch owners playing with different console owners. They're looking into that after release, but they don't have anything to say at the moment, so we'll see about that. So that's the details I wanted to get out for that, because I'm sure people wanted to know, and it wasn't really made aware when they first advertised it, I think. Anyway, on to some other stuff. So Sakurai was at the Tokyo Game Show Awards, because Smash got another award. Of course it does. And he talked some more about DLC, and what he said was, so long as people keep buying it, he'll keep making it. And he knows the next Smash likely won't be able to have, 70 plus characters, and they're obviously going to have to downscale and basically cut out half the roster. So he kind of wants to go with this as far as he possibly can and just add all these different worlds, because you're never going to have, unless they just port it over and add more, they're never going to have like this many universes. Yeah, they're never going to have this many universes together again. So he's like, you know what, screw it, let's just ride it out as long as I can, because it's only down. We're only going
Smash
down from
Brothers,
here.
we're only getting 20 characters. I know. spoilers.
Yeah. And then he made it sad by saying it was Smash Ultimate was Iwata's last mission to him. So maybe that's why he also feels like he wants to do all this DLC. But that's some updates on that.
I mean, like I've said it before. We had a long running not joke about whether this current iteration was a full new game or what. Because the principal of my argument was like the graphics aren't getting that much better, the mechanics aren't changing that much anymore. So I can say I'm in line with that because like I mean I'd be fine. I'd be excited someday if like Smash completely rebooted, even if it wasn't as good in some way. Like if they just went with some kind of like massive teardown. The game is different graphic style, like simpler. Change it. I don't even know. I'm not the designer. Like, but I'm like, I'd be fine if there was like this massive reboot to the whole franchise for the next one, or whatever. Just like taking it in a new direction because it's like I've argued before. Like Mario Kart has reached like what you could jokingly call final form. Like, what better Mario Kart version is there? Like, it already looks as good as you want it to look. Like, it looks. You know what I mean? Like where do you go? Like art style has reached its perfection. Like, so that's kind of Smash's situation. It's like, if you just want to stay the same like this, which most of us arguably do, the only argument would be like the melee aspect of like mechanical like stuff, speed and mechanical stuff is the only thing you can complain about. Fine. Okay. That's always going to be there. That vibe is always going to be in the air for every franchise that has like one peak moment, but other than that, it's like, yeah, dude, like just keep expanding on this. It's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, at some point, I have friends. There is a weird backlash to it in this way that it's not like a bad thing, but like I have friends that openly are caches, like I am. I'm a total Smash cache, but I like the game. But like they're like there are too many characters. Like I don't even know half of them. And there's like a little bit of negativity toward it. Like there's like this, and it's like not a bad thing. It's like it makes them hate the game, but it becomes a little bit like almost overwhelming, where you're like, there's so much here.
Yeah.
There's so much. Like I don't know what to do. And there is a little bit of that you get into a danger of. Like it's just like, holy crap. Like I can barely play this game.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you got you got to watch out for that because I mean, think about it. I don't even touch half the cast. Most of the time. Like I'll be like, oh, I should, maybe I should play him or something. But
max good. You're arguably max good. Like, so think how the caches among us feel. It's like I don't even know how to use Rosalina or whatever. And it's just like, oh, she sucks. I hate her because I don't know how to use her. It's just like that kind of thing where you're just like,
you just exist. I get it.
And it becomes a little like there's that like relationship you want to have with the game.
Yeah. It's a problem of having too many options.
Yeah.
Because we can't. Yeah. Especially if you like don't know any of the characters or at least half of them, let alone how they play. It's like, it's just too much because you're like, I have to spend at least X amount of time to understand how this character works, and there's 80 of them, and
exactly.
I'm only gonna like 10% of them. It's like, so how do you choose that? It's like, geez.
Gamers like have a way of like we kind of like there's that complete nature to a lot of gamers that we've been trained to have, and then that becomes a little bit of a repelling factor when you feel like a game is too much to even finish it, that you're like, and for a lot of people, sadly, I would argue sadly, I think it's like your brain is like making an error to think this way, but like your view of finishing Smash in your mind is like mastering every character or like finishing classic mode with every character or whatever it is, like whatever your brain glitches and thinks like, and like, no, the answer with Smash, the only answer is having fun. Like there is no other finishing Smash. Like finishing,
I think Brawl had like that one thing for me where I was like, okay, I did every achievement, you know what I mean? Like there was nothing else for me to do. Like this game, like, I mean, Smash 4 brought back their achievement thing. But I don't know, this one, after I finished World of Light, I mean, I only did classic mode because I had to travel so much on the plane. Like, I gotta be honest with you, that's the only reason why I was doing classic mode. It was
finishing World of Light. You guys are crazy because you both did it, and it's crazy.
Shouldn't have done it as quickly as I did.
I'm
basically I'll start it, and it'll only be like 10 or 20 hours or whatever, and then or I don't even remember how much I expected, and at the end it was like 50 or something. And I'm like, I really shouldn't have started the goal with I'm going to beat this and then do other stuff because it took so long.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I did the exact
And-
same thing with Brawl because one of my friends started early, and that wasn't even as long, but it was like,
Yeah, the brawl wasn't as long, but this one, like,
Man,
it got to a
it's a
point where it's a
mistake.
bit repetitive, and it's like,
Yeah.
World of Light had,
That's what
something going
everybody
for
said.
it. Brawl Classic mode sucked so bad, like it was so bad. But it had the boss rush mode with the after the story mode, and not as many characters to unlock, and this one, you had to unlock the characters, but you already had every stage. Like I don't remember if Brawl you had to do stage unlocks as well, but. Look, we should enjoy the ride for what it is. Like, yeah, it makes him money. Of course, he's going to make more, and everyone enjoys it. We're getting more and more characters and more franchises. But, we're going to get the next Smash Brothers is going to be like, you're not going to have, I don't know, I'm just going to throw like Joker, ever again.
Well,
It's
gonna be-
Persona 5 will be irrelevant. And,
it's gonna suck. It's like okay, next game, and we cut out all the characters you want: King K. Rool, Ridley, Banjo. Like we just got these.
I think Ridley and King, like most
I'm sure some of them will
Nintendo
stay.
characters are staying.
Yeah, the Nintendo guys are in.
I don't know.
I mean, if they want them to be.
Well, I
I
mean,
think-
like most of the cast is Nintendo, and they're gonna have to cut them out.
Yeah, like I feel like
I'm sure they'll cut out.
we might never get Young Link again, even though I'd rather have him over Toon Link. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
like it's
Them
just
and,
like
like-
we're at that point. Like we'd have to
I mean,
now
we're-
be
we're-
making
we're a
videos
decade
who's going to be cut.
We're a decade away from the next Smash, but I personally think
100%.
the only place to go is like a complete like reboot, like a
I think-
complete crazy like nuclear option
so
everything reboot.
So
you
there
know?
was a rumor, I don't know if it was right or not, that PlayStation All Stars was going to get a sequel, and that's kind of been a rumor for a couple of years, whether it was true or not. But more recently, it happened, and they said it would actually change to a 3D brawler. It was either a 3D brawler or like a Soul Calibur 3D arena game. Anyway, something like that. And I think that's kind of the only way Smash can come back again, because like as much as like people love it how it is now, if you just make Smash again, but it's like, okay, and we're restarting and like 90% of the cast is gone and it doesn't feel like exceedingly new, it's just like, okay, Mario and all the classic characters have a different moveset, it's probably going to be like, this is lesser, why should we bother? So it would kind of like I think changing genres, even if people don't want it, would be the only way to be like, this is its own thing. I can accept this for being its own thing rather than just it's lesser than. Because
I mean, I can agree with that, but at the same time,
don't know.
why doesn't it could go back to being a game again, though? I mean, it could go back to being like Melee, where it had event mode and it had adventure mode and all-star mode. Like, all those things are shams of what they once were, Like, adventure mode was so cool because you were playing, hey, I'm Donkey Kong and I'm in the Mushroom World, you know what I mean, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe now, like Melee could be be made the way they thought it would be made in 2001. Like, yes, you're cutting out a lot of characters, but the thing, like I don't know, I always will remember going through event mode or adventure mode more than I ever have most of the single players. Like, yeah, I remember Subspace, but if you like, I'd have to watch like the scenes. Like, I only remember the cutscenes, like the story. I don't remember anything about the playing of Subspace.
Yeah.
And like World of Light, I remember the map and the bosses more than I do the otherwise it was just fight a colored version of a character.
Yeah.
So I like, if they're gonna do that, I think they can make it a game again rather than like Smash since the fourth one has been a multiplayer only kind of game. Like, yes, you play online, but that's technically multiplayer. Like, Smash has not been a game in like 20 years or 15 years or whatever. So that's my opinion of it.
Interesting. Yeah, Matt's idea of like a 3D,
like a
I can
Tekken
never
kind
see
of thing, which is cool. Like a 3D
them.
arena, Naruto, Tekken. What
I
else?
could
Bandai
never
Namco
see
does
them,
those too.
abandoning the format because they're abandoning sales like entirely. I can see them trying it like as a side project, but as the mainline Smash, I can't see it. But like what Mike's saying, that's interesting. Or I don't know what I'm imagining. It's more like just like something nuclear, like they've got to like completely reset the thing, like I it's my pet theme, Matt. I got it. I got the tiniest version of it in this version of Smash. Like that, my idea had been like they start the roster to be the OG like N64, and like once a week you get a new character. You pay up front, but you get like, and like I'm still hanging on to the pet theory, and Matt was like of the mindset people would revolt and hate it so bad, and I'm just thinking more something like that, where it'd be like, so you trust us now, right? Like that's the advertisement. It's like, so you trust us now, right? Every week, new character.
I don't know.
But I mean, I don't think that
like
would be
limited
any
from a
different
game.
than Ultimate,
Like
right?
it feels like Capcom kind of scummy where they hide the characters.
Well, I mean, because especially
They're not DLC.
if you have Ultimate and it's like you have 70 characters in the box, and it's like, what? Now we start off with 12, and you're making us wait, and we have to pay for them. It's like, why don't I just pull up the other one?
I understand. Right? Yeah, I know it's my pet theory. Like to me, I would love it because I would like the surprise of every week, like trying to guess who it's going to be, and then everybody jumping in every week. That's the hook. Like every week, everyone's coming back. Like every player.
No, it doesn't work, Clay. No matter how much you pitch it, it would make me hate what it was.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have what I bought.
I feel you, and you've got your finger pulse far more than I do. I'll be honest.
When are you gonna play that melee, bro? All right, you said you were gonna play melee.
Someday.
Yeah, someday. You just play Adventure Mode once, and you'll understand that Smash can be a video game. Right?
I only have 40 characters unlocked in Ultimate, and I only have Classic Mode finished with 30 of them so far. I got to finish it with all, because see, I like Classic Mode better than I like World of Light because it's harder. Like not to someone like Mike's level, you know what I mean? But like I hated. I've said it before on here. It's a boring topic to me. I just found World of Light boring as crap because just attaching spirits to like make me better doesn't make me a better Smash player. Playing Classic Mode and trying to beat my own like ability level makes me way better. You know, like I was playing Ryu the other night. I suck with Ryu, even though I know how to play Street Fighter. But then I finish it at like 9.1 with Ryu, and I'm proud of myself because I'm like, yeah, look at that. Like I actually learned how to use them a little bit, like without having to cheese it, you know, and just put some spirits on them or something, you know. So that's what I'm working on, and I find that fun, you know what I mean. But I am a masochist. Anyway, we're derailing Matt's news broadcast, so it was Smash related.
It's fine. Anyway, yeah, let's move on to the next topic. So they announced they had a teaser for some fitness game, and we're like, okay, what are they doing next?
Not the ring boxing game, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they announced it. It's called Ring Fit Adventure. It's coming in October. That's the game of the year Mike was really talking about.
Yes.
Coming next month.
That's the other game of the year.
Yeah. So it's this weird exercising RPG. It has an adventure mode. I heard from one podcast that said some other website said if you play it for an hour a day, it'll last 3 months. I couldn't find any sources for that, so I don't know. But I'm guessing they probably built it long enough because they expect you to play it every day for a while. Anyway, there's like an adventure mode.
So this is not the.
mini-games.
This is not the. I was about to say Wii Fit Boxing. This is not the boxing game, right? That was like out. Like that, I heard an announcement about. Remember the boxing fitness or something like that?
No. Oh.
It had
I think
a
I kind
demo.
of remember that. No, I think that's from before. No, this they just announced this week. And it comes with like a leg strap and this ring, like a Pilates ring, that apparently detects like movements. I guess because
I did not even see this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll post a thing. But yeah, it looks neat. You do like certain moves in the game to kill enemies, and like it'll do more damage if you do specific exercises, which they're color coded to match like specific muscle groups. It even has like a silent mode, so it like replaces jogging with just squatting if you don't want to like make noise, I guess, if you live in an apartment or something, which is interesting. And the vitality sensor the vitality sensor kind of returns. Apparently you can use the IR camera as like a heart rate monitor. I don't know how well that works or what they did with that camera, but I mean, I guess it works because they advertised it. But, well, that's not necessarily true.
Could you be more skeptical?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know how heart rate monitors work, so maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I just find it's weird. But, I don't know. It looks kind of interesting. What did you guys think of this fitness game.
Mike,
I mean,
you didn't see it and is like, what are you guys?
I sent it the link.
I mean, I low key, I kind of want it. All right? But I mean, I'm a Wii Fit guy. All right, what do you want from me, guys? All right, I see Wii Fit, I'm a sucker and I buy it. But no, I don't know. It seems kind of strange, but Nintendo always does something weird like this, and with fitness. So I'm in, boys. I'm in.
Mike, wait till you see the whole video. It's pretty It's pretty hilarious. The game.
Is it? Okay, I've never seen the video, but like I've seen a picture of it. So
I put it in the chat.
This looks kind of funny.
Wait till you see the video of it. Take a look at it.
Because muscle bound like Satan.
Will it make me jacked? That's the real question. If it makes me jacked, I'm in. All right.
The people
like,
that
I'll
are
be like Rocky Balboa or something. You know.
I mean, the people that are not listening to this podcast for a long time, like they might not know, like, because Mike is so hard to read. If you're only a casual tuning in here, like that, Michael just hates something randomly, and other times we like into it. And the funniest thing here is that like probably 90% of the internet are going to react to this like
garbage.
like negatively, and like me and Mike are probably a biased sample because like we are the only two people remaining on this planet that do Wii Fit regularly.
Dude,
and,
it's
like,
such a great. I have it right behind me. I'll turn it on right now. I'll turn it on right now. Okay.
I do it 3 times a week, 4 times a week. I still do my workout like on it. I mean, I
always get sad I didn't do the Wii U one, man.
Oh, that's the one I'm doing. I mean, you got to get it. You can still get it.
Yeah, I do OG one, man, with fake Wii Fit trainer. Like, you guys, if you ever look at some gameplay for the original Wii Fit, like, she's mad angular.
Not a long time. I can't remember. Like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I look at it. I have to do the guy. I do the guy, but you know.
Go on eBay.
Yeah,
get
you
yourself,
can buy the balance board cheap. I remember seeing.
I mean,
I don't know if it still exists, but
you just have to download it, Mike. Like all you have to do is get the little pedometer and you download.
Yeah, I had to buy the pedometer. The pedometer is probably like $10 right now.
Yeah, it's like on eBay. Just go on eBay and find one for cheap. Like that's all you take.
So, I don't even gotta worry. You know what? Wii Fit's basically free. Wait, so Wii Fit 2 is free as long as you have the pedometer?
Yes, but like make sure, like Google around. I can't answer this. Make sure that if someone else already used the pedometer, it wouldn't somehow like jank it. You know what I mean? Like that someone already used the download code basically. But that's how you got it initially. You needed to like register the pedometer with your system. So like check it out. But I mean, back to the modern topic. I mean, all right. So we're talking about Wii U Fit, like from like 10 years ago, the hot news on this Nintendo podcast.
Yeah. We only bring out the hot news right now.
Hot topics, you know. No, I thought the ring looks cool. Did they give a price yet, Matt? Because I'm interested for sure.
It is $80, so it's.
I figured it's a little high.
It's a little more.
Wasn't the original Wii Fit $80? Like, get the balance board.
I don't remember.
Yes.
Well, the Wii Fit had the balance board, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it was probably. I feel like it might have been more because the balance board itself was probably
expensive.
Like $50 or $60.
Yeah, I mean, the one problem with the balance board is it just takes too many damn double A. That was my main problem with it.
How many did it take?
You got to get a stack of rechargeables. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, you just got to have a stack of rechargeables. That's like my life. Like I have like a drawer full of rechargeable batteries that I can always swap for it. But I knew it was gonna be $80 when I saw it. Like I thought to myself, I was like, they're giving you a decent sized game from the looks of it. They're giving you this ring that's like durable. I know it's gonna be the same price as freaking Labo. And that confirms it for me. I want it, and the main reason I'll probably justify buying it is because I do actually use my Wii Fit, and it's like it'll be nice to have a change up like from it because I have been doing Wii Fits so long. There's no way on Wii U to like tell the number of hours you've played a game, but it's like gotta be.
Wait, really? On the Wii you could even on the Wii you could tell.
On the
you can
Wii
only
U,
look
it
at
has
like for months. Yeah. It's like it's.
Yeah, it only shows like the day or the month or something.
It sucks. You can't like somehow
calendar.
collate your data, lifetime data, unless you literally scrolled back all the way to the day you bought it. And
wait, they call it Ring Fit? Oh my god! It's like Wii Fit, but Ring Fit. Now I get it.
Now you're getting where they're going here. Yeah. It's a sequel without being a sequel. They can't put Wii in the name anymore. So, it's like, it's and they didn't want to call it Switch Fit because that sounds a little too too weird. I don't know, like Switch Fit would have been a good name. I'm sure they dabbled with it, but it sounds a little bit like CrossFit or something. So
It
you want
doesn't
to like,
sound unique enough.
Yeah, but the thing is, but what I liked about Wii Fit was like you could do like push-ups and ab stuff. This one feels like it's all stretching and
No, there's some ab stuff.
All right.
Yeah,
I
there's
have
in the later
VR.
end of the trailer.
I could just play Beat Saber if I wanted to move around. You know what I mean?
it's hard to see like what the range of this thing is gonna be from the little video, because it's a relatively short video, like 10-minute maybe introduction to like the whole concept. So it's a little hard to see, and I think it'll like anything else, it'll depend on the adoption. Like will they release like more DLC for it? Well, you know what I mean? There's none of that answered. You're not going to know when you're done watching that video. They're just showing you the vanilla product. And the funny meme about it, Matt can probably back me up on this, is like that the two people in that video, they are androids. They are like
there's
strange
comments in it
androids.
like, I think have they even blinked?
Yeah, it's the
That's
weirdest presentation ever, and I get the feeling they did it on purpose, that it's like they meant them to be a little weird for like quirkiness, and well, they nailed it, because it's like, what is wrong with these people? Like, it's your emotion when you're watching it. They're like too animated and too bizarre. They do feel like androids. It's very
They're like
strange.
infomercial level of caricatures. Yeah, I'll read the comments. Blink twice if you're kidnapped, or just blink at all for the love of God. It's terrifying.
If you're kidnapped, that's pretty good.
And then the other one was count their blinks. It's scary how much these androids don't blink.
Yeah, it's really strange. When you watch it, you're gonna be like,
I don't think they blink a single time.
They're off-putting and at the same time mesmerizing. You're like, it's so bizarre. It makes you watch it, and maybe that was the goal. Like, you're like, even if I don't care about this product, I'm watching this video. You know?
It's like if the Wii Fit lady came to life. Like, it's that kind of dry, robotic thing. Welcome
Hello,
to
everyone.
Adventure.
Oh, okay. Are you sure they weren't the VAs for them? All right.
Yeah.
I can't roll with that
That'd be
example Matt just gave of being the Wii Fit lady, because the funniest thing about Wii Fit, if you play it enough, Matt, is that like the system gauges the time of day you play it, and she does have personality, because like she judges you, because like if I stay up really late and it calls you out on it, like when you come in to train the next day and it's like 10 a.m., like she won't be there on the screen, and then she'll show up after like a minute, like rubbing her eyes and be like, I stayed up too late last night. Like she's like coming into the studio all tired. Like it's
That's
really
hilarious.
funny. There's this light personality to it, and then like some days like there's no one there, and like the other trainer, like the guy trainer, I have on the girl, and the guy trainer will show me. He's like, your regular trainer's out sick today. I'm here to take care of you today. You know, it's like real weird. You're like, why did that happen? Like, but yeah, it's funny. So there is personality, slight light personality to Wii Fit trainer. Like they very generic, but there's personality, especially when she yawns and sounds like she's hungover, because that cracks me up every time. I'm like, good call. I was up late, but I still got to do my abs. So I got to fight this beer gut because I was up too late. So yeah, so I'm interested. $80. I mean, I knew it. Looking at it.
I like how you think that's a problem, but the game with like a bunch of cardboard apparently isn't. You're like, oh yeah, that's justifiable. $100 or $80
yeah, but when
or
you're
whatever.
done, you get a cardboard elephant, man. What are you complaining about? You got a cardboard elephant here. What are you going to use
yeah,
that
but
for?
like
Nothing?
you'd actually exercise like every day with this. You're not going to use the cardboard all that much.
Yeah, but I'm going to look at it and be like, look, I got a cardboard elephant.
Like,
what
look
am I
at that
going to do
thing
with
that's
this?
in the corner covered in dust and cat hair.
Yes, exactly. I don't understand what you're not understanding, Matt. Exactly.
And the cat chewed on it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're talking about here. I got this VR kit that makes me nauseous, that every time I put it on my face, I feel a little sick, and I think, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, but it's kind of funny. And then I'm like, oh, I'm sick, and I'm going to put it in the corner with the elephant. Yeah, you know it. $80 ain't nothing. So,
it looks like a fun game, to be honest.
Yeah.
This is like, if you were to get me to exercise, this would be the way to do it, because exercising is boring and I kind of hate it. And obviously, because I play video games, like, what do I know about exercise?
Sure.
But so if you can make it fun and distract me from the actual like work, that's good. At one point, I know this is kind of stupid, but I thought of like, oh, maybe I should replay like Skyward Sword and like actually stand up and move around and like obviously that's not real exercise, but I'm like, that'd be better than nothing, and it would be kind
Yeah.
of fun. And I just
I
never
enjoyed
did
it.
it.
It made Skyward Sword harder. Like it made
Yeah.
Skyward Sword harder. It was very hard to control. The complaints were real about that game using it that way. But I did it. Like, I mean, I've said it before, but it is a bragging point. Like, because I'm not as good as some people at video games, like Mike, just the killer or whatever. But one of the gaming achievements for Wii, if I made a top 5 gaming achievement list, one of them very high on the list, if I thought about all of them, would be that I beat the Punch Out sequel with the balance board on hard mode, like
Oh,
on the
wow.
hard quest. It was so insanely hard. It was like, you were not only drenched in sweat, the controls are not that good. Like you're fighting the
Well, like
controller the whole time.
it's a game that's meant for like the NES gamepad, where it's
Yeah.
like quick, press
Yeah.
it and it's instant.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
having to deal with, and even it's hard in that sense. So having to deal with
Yes.
like actually moving, where you're obviously going to be slower than a quick button
Yes.
press, must be
Yes.
infuriating, because you have to react like
It was
you must
brutal.
have to react like a second before the prompt
Yes.
comes up or whatever.
You
So
had
that's
to
hard.
not only you not only had to anticipate, but the real thing, like everything you're saying is correct, but the thing that made it insanely hard is that not having spent as much time on the balance board as Mike and I, you might not. It doesn't work perfectly, and the problem is because it's a balance, not an analog. Exactly like you're saying, it's not left right. It's like a balance. Is that like when you don't know it till you're doing it, and it's not even the board's fault. But like, let's say you're little Mac and you got to dodge left, and you shift your way to the left. It turns out the balance board will inform you that when you shift left all your way to one side, you don't do it in a perfect like move. And the problem is your body is shifting in a weird way, and when the game is looking for this like analog input of like left or right, like you will end up dodging the wrong way, in fact, in some cases, and you'll think it's the board's fault until you get good at it, but it's really that you shift your weight in a weird way, and you have to like master a technique to like shift your weight all at once as hard as you can, which is insanely tiring when you do it for a video game, and you're doing it again and again. I mean, if you want to work out, just go back, get Punch Out, plug in the balance board mic. It's way harder than Wii Fit. You will be drenched. You will be drenched just getting through like the novice campaign. Like it is fun, but boy, like you will be covered in sweat. Like wear a dirty t-shirt because you're gonna be like filthy. Like when you're done with it. Like I sometimes go back to it and I can only get like halfway through the vanilla campaign before I'm like getting my ass kicked. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe I did this. Like I can't believe I mastered this a long time ago. It's a good way to get a workout if you don't want to buy Ring Fit. There you go. Go back to Punch Out on Wii and enjoy yourself. Yeah. But yeah, I might buy this. I don't know if I'll get it right when it drops. Is it like October? Is it coming soon? Did they say?
Yeah, October 18th.
There's so many games
in the middle of the month. Yeah.
Oh, it's so much to buy. So many things to buy. Like it's tough. It's tough. It is a good investment though. That's what it's gonna end up getting it for me because I'll be like, look, this is another thing I can do to like get some calories off during the work day. And like you said, Matt, like anyone who's on the fence about this kind of thing, it's like, look, if you don't like exercising, it's surprisingly easier to exercise when you have a video game which you enjoy distracting you from the fact that you're exercising. You know, it's a good way to.
Well, it's also like a good incentive,
you know?
because it'll be like you'll be playing the game and you'll be like, hey, I want to do this specific move that'll like do more damage, even though like it puts you through more stress or whatever. Versus if you were to tell me that normally, it's like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Right. And
you work out like more than you think because you're distracted, so you end up doing it longer than you would in normal exercises where it's like 10 minutes. You're like, this sucks.
That's where the gamer problem would come in. It'd be like, if it's fun, you're gonna be like, oh wait, I'm supposed to like, not squander. I don't know. I'm supposed to temper this and not play it for hours at a day. It's like, you're only supposed to play like 32 an hour or something and then like leave it. It's like, but that's not the mentality I've built over these decades. You wired my brain wrong. All these video games are telling me to play as much as possible. And it's like, now you got to go backwards. You're like, no, you're not supposed to play much. It's like, what is this?
That would be a thing that going into it would be almost
like tired out by that time though.
You would. I mean, you would get tired out if
you're not going to play 3 hours of this and be like, this is fun. You'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna take a nap or whatever.
I mean,
or shower.
The thing I say that the reason, like, I don't know if Mike can relate to this with Wii Fit, but like Wii Fit doesn't change. It doesn't have that much content. Sure. It's got X amount of content. It is a workout. Workouts stay the same. The good thing about Wii Fit, I mean, I can't believe Mike's still playing original Wii Fit because Wii Fit 2.
Fun, man. That game is fun.
No. I was gonna say because Wii Fit 2, you can save multiple routines, and that's what makes it better. Because like you can have I have 3 different routines that I cycle through, so I don't get quite so bored of it. But the other thing I was going to say, like in relation to this new Ring Fit thing, is that like what I tend to do is I put on a DVD or put on some TV or something, on Netflix or something, like, and then I use the Wii U on the tablet and like watch like the tablet to do the exercises, and I'm like also having TV on to distract me while I'm doing it, so I'm not like totally, like I said, like, getting bored of like just doing the same old routine for literally years.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? I use the tablet, and with the Switch, you could ostensibly do the same thing. You can play in Ring Fit on the little screen. Once you know the game, you don't need to see it on the big screen, and then you can, since we can't put Netflix on our freaking Switch, and then and then be like having 2 things on at once, because that's what I do. Like a lot the way people go to the gym and they're watching the TV or whatever. I do the same thing. That it's like then I'm more prone to sticking with it, is what I find. I'm watching an old movie or something like that while I'm laughing, like while I'm playing it. I'm like, all right, cool. Like I know the routine so well, I can like do them without using Wii Fit at this point, basically. But but it's still fun.
Yeah. I was just like, cause like the only thing I really do is I like the balance games, but I always just do the strength training stuff anyway. That's it. So I just watch the person doing it, and I just do it, and I'm like, all right, yeah, this is it. That's all for me.
That made me laugh because you're like, oh, I'm doing strength training with Wii Fit, and that reminds me of the SpongeBob where he's lifting up like the bunnies.
The dolls.
Yeah.
That's my favorite stuff, though, dude. The freaking the push up and the side planks one, and like how they never stop because they're robots, but still. And I'm like, oh damn, I'm gonna beat this guy. Okay.
And it's double funny because before the podcast, Unoclay was saying like SpongeBob is our version of The Simpsons. And I just brought it up, and I just proved his point.
Yeah.
Yes, I was rolling my eyes. I was like, yeah, SpongeBob. I mean, I know that the voice is one of their.
Yo, like you're just jealous for living like Larry, all right?
Larry. Gary's different than Larry.
Oh, Larry. All right. And he's more different than. I forgot what the little real snail is, that reference. All right, boys. With that, I bid you all adieu.
Yeah, I was gonna say
we fit you adieu, but yeah. I got stuff to do. Illegal stuff. You know what I mean? But
buying games early. Apparently.
You need to play Link's
Wait, what was that?
You need to go play. It's a legal copy of Link's Awakening. We understand.
Yeah, I mean, guys, like it's Link's Awakening.
We get it. You're the supplier, and every time that's how this works. Like I just somehow get all these games early. And I can't tell you who it is, but
Matt, just come. Yo, if you just chill at my house for the weekend, I'll bring you to my guy. Boom.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'll spend like $800 to fly out to buy a $60 game.
You get Luigi's Mansion 3 freaking like 2 days early, bro. Come on. Totally works.
Hey,
totally works.
I live close enough that I could take him up on this.
No, Matt. No. I'm back in New York, guys. I mean, it's not that expensive.
Yeah.
We all get here, and you guys are
we're all
playing games early. All right.
Yeah, but I don't see. I'm so backed up on games.
But I don't want to get shot. I'm kidding.
Oh my God, Matt, you're so Canadian. You would have way more chance getting shot than you would in New York, boy. Like, come on down here. Like, we shoot people down here in New York. That's
Matt's gonna come back and they'll be like, "Is that Luigi's Mansion 3, eh? Hey, nice job, bro."
Oh my God, it's so great. I would love to be in Matt's head for like a day to imagine what he sees America as, because he's probably right most ways. It's just like he's like, I don't want to come to America. I'm gonna get shot there. It's like, true. I'm like, true. Okay, I look at the front page of the news. I'm like, true. Good point, Matt.
I mean, Toronto ain't that great either, but
yeah. What are we gonna say? Honestly, what are we gonna say about that? It's like, I guess you're right. I don't want to get shot either. That's why I stay in my house. Holy crap.
I feel that. I feel that. All right, boys. Find me on YouTube, SMB Gaming 64. Obviously, if you want to spoil the entire game for you, you know where to check it. Otherwise, I really recommend. I found these videos by me and Phil about 3-4 years ago, finishing Donkey Kong Country 2. Probably my favorite play series on the channel. Check that out, or you can just check us out doing whatever. All right. I'll smell y'all later, right?
Just check us out. Do whatever.
Yeah,
Peace.
doing whatever. All right, boys.
All right. That's good stuff right there. That's good stuff.
I think we should probably
Any other news we got to cover?
wrap up.
Yeah, we should wrap it. We got all the news that's fit the print.
Yeah.
We got everything.
Alright, so you can find me at the Mango Viking on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And where can people find you?
I am not being very active on the social medias these days. I'm super busy. I haven't put up a new video in ages. But if anyone out there listening wants to be friends, hit me up, shoot me, tweet at me on Twitter. Just jump into any thread I've ever made and like make a comment. So the next time I log in there, I'll see it. We could be Switch friends. I could send you my friend code. We could play some Smash. We could play some Splatoon. We could even play some Super NES. And if you join me on Twitter, I promise we will make hate threads toward Shmuga. That's Matt, the other host here, taunting him on why he will never fight me in Smash because he's totally because he can't deal with the projectiles is his latest excuse. We will see. He's actually better than me at the game, people. He just doesn't want to show it. Yeah. See, I don't know.
Can't be that better if I can't deal with different problems.
We'll just get on Twitter and like Matt loves the tweets and we'll get in there and we'll harass Matt. It'll be great. I love harassing people. It's super fun.
Speaking
I
of
never do it, but I do it.
Yeah. Speaking of the SNES games, are any of them multiplayer? Because I didn't even think which ones would be.
Yes, there are ones on there. I can't say them off the top of my head, but I know there are ones because I finally
Kirby,
loaded
maybe
up the
Joe
app.
and Mac, and I guess the ones that have like 2 characters.
Yeah. Yeah,
'Cause I can't really
there's
think of
definitely a
any
couple sports
SNES
games.
games
There's
besides,
like a
like, Mario
tennis
Kart.
game in there, like, and there's a fighting game in there.
Okay.
I have not messed with it a lot because I'm more of a purist. I don't tend to play
Yeah.
emulated games very often, but I do like the whole online functionality of it. So if you want to get at me with Puyo Puyo, they have on there the Japanese version, and I always think Puyo Puyo is pretty fun to play against someone else since it's like Tetris but not.
Mhm.
That's on there. I'm sure that's 2 players. So yeah, we should do that sometime. Or if anybody listening here wants to join up, hit me up on Twitter, drop a line, and we can switch some friend codes, and play a few games. And coming soon, the biggest news, Matt, we didn't even cover it, but you'll be able to invite your friend, and we'll have to talk about that in the coming week when there's more
When
news
they
on that.
actually like added to a game.
Yeah, they
'Cause so far
explain
it's
it and
not.
add it to the game. Yeah, so that it's a useful feature. But like me, I crapped a little bit when it was like, okay,
Yeah.
this and Netflix, we got one of the two. Yeah, it's like we got one of the 2 things that I think is the most insane thing we don't have. A way to talk to my very good friends and say, hey, I'm playing Smash. I don't want to have to text you.
Yeah.
And in your case, you're in Canada, so I always have to Skype you. And it's like, it's stupid. I'm like, this is insane. This is beyond insane. How is this possible? So we'll have to talk about it more when it actually rolls out.
Yeah.
See if
I'm
it
sure
works
it'll
correct.
probably be added for Overwatch because it feels like this seems like an update that's probably going to coincide with something. That or Pokemon, because there's like a bunch of multiplayer things where it's like, oh, join my camp and play with the Pokemon, or join like Pokemon Go has, I forget what they're called, but battles where like up to 4 people can like battle a Pokemon and capture it.
I see.
So
I see.
raid battles, that's what they were in Pokemon Go. So like that makes sense because they said you can play with your friends somehow. But so we'll leave it there.
All right.
So wherever you're listening, you can find us at Just Another Castle on pretty much every platform on the internet. Hit us up with your questions, or if you're interested in being a guest, at me at the Mango Viking or at Just Another Castle on Twitter. So until next time, leave luck to the heavens and leave gaming to Nintendo.